The ad hoc committee convened on October 5th, 2021 to review the proposed administrative rule to policy BBAA, board member authority and responsibilities. Do I hear a motion from the ad hoc committee?
Madam Chair, upon recommendation of the ad hoc committee, I move that this committee's scope of work be expanded to include all board policies that reside in Section B, School Board Governance and Operations.
Thank you, Dr. Guyton. And as this motion comes from a committee, it does not need to be seconded. Is there any discussion? Do you understand what they're, Dr. Guyton, kind of tell us what you're asking for.
Sure. So for some contextual understanding, as we began to look through the role of this ad hoc committee to review policy BBAA-R, it quickly peeled back a lot of layers, that there is a lot of overlap that exists between the B policies, quite frankly, in general. And so as we began to discuss and talk through this, quite frankly, expanding our scope to include all of the B policies, while a very large task and labor is probably very much needed. We live in a very different world today than we did in 2016, 2017, when some of these policies were last codified, and we live in a much different world than when some of these were written back in 1985. So as we talked about, this would be probably the single greatest overhaul that we've seen in recent history, but needed. And we want to do it well. We want to do it with distinction, and we want to have time to do it. We estimate this would take on order of close to a year, anywhere between 6 months to a year to complete. We would roll out a timeline in which we would group policies together and bring those to the board. And I like the fact that this is very much board driven, as it should be. This is essentially the behavior of the board, and really we seek to answer 3 questions: who we are, what we do, and how we do it. And in doing so, it's going to take time, and we would respectfully request that the board approve this.
Thank you, Dr. Guyton. Anyone have any questions about this? All right, we're going to vote to give this committee a lot more responsibility. You okay with that, Mr. Oswald? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Great. And I think it is much needed, so thank you for taking that on. All right, moving on to 11.0.